So Peter Obi revealed to AIT Newsmen that there is no crisis in ADC, but rather these crises are being instigated. So he revealed that the Labour Party where he left, crisis that happened there was instigated by the current APC government. Though he didn't say that, but it's obvious that was what he meant. Both the PDP where he left and everywhere meaning Nigerian will understand, will agree with him that all these crises are being instigated by the ruling party to destabilize the opposition.
Bedeviling the party at this time. Do you think it's possible?
I don't think there's leadership crisis bedeviling the party. It is being instigated in all the parties, not just this one, whether it's in PDP, in ADC, in Labour, we are left to come into this one because we're chasing me. In MPP, where Kwankwaso left, it's the same thing. They don't want opposition because they have run the country aground and want to ensure that everything collapses completely. And we cannot allow it because anarchy consumes everybody. So we need to bring back the country, unite it, ensure that the country functions for everybody. All we want in ADC is to have a country where a child of nobody can be somebody without knowing anybody. Create a level playing field. And that's what we want to do.
And Your Excellency, a lot of your teaming supporters across the country have been, willing to ask you, are you going to run as a presidential candidate on this party?
Definitely. I'm running as a presidential candidate.
So you are going to run?
And I've always said it. I will change this country.
Then Yunusa Tanko, who is the BDM Movement National Coordinator, he said, do you want to choose someone who will win the primary and lose the general election? Secondly, it is the turn of the South. For ADC to win this election, they should zone the ticket to the South so they do not lose the election. With an obedient Kwankwaso ticket, the election will be over by 12 p.m. And I think I agree with him. It has to be Obi Kwankwaso or nothing. Atiku cannot win election. It's written that he will never win election.
What do you make of the proposition and the permutations by Mr. Dele Momodu, for example? Yesterday on the program, he says that the best opportunity or option for the ADC, if it's on the ballot going into the 2027 election, is to have Atiku Abubakar and Peter Obi paired on the ticket.
Now, let me make reference to the statement of His Excellency Rotimi Amechi yesterday. He said, and he clearly said, that the party should make sure they choose the right candidate if they want to win election. Do you want to choose somebody who will win primaries, cannot win the elections, or do you want to lose the election and only win the primaries? And also, the fact still remains that it's a southern presidency at the moment. It's a southern presidency.
So it eliminates the Kwankwasos of this world, the Atiku Abubakars of this world, and positions Rotimi Amechi and Peter Obi.
It's a southern presidency. And to make it easy for the party to win, zone it to the south and give the candidacy to the south. And you are sure of winning. Anything short of that will only bring you losing the election. And I'm saying this for every Nigerian to critically go and do his own independent poll. It will clearly show that. And the moment you saw that kind of euphoria and the love that was shown to Peter Obi and Kwankwaso, the Nigerian people have spoken. I can tell you for sure, if you have those two peers, with all due respect...
So it's Peter Obi on the ballot with Kwankwaso as a vice.
By 12 o'clock on the day of election, the election is over.
Give me a moment. We'll be...
It didn't just stop there. The coalition, according to Peter Ame, he said he is the chairman of the Inter-Party Advisory Council. He said the coalition needs a candidate who has momentum, public appeal, and organic following. He said Peter Obi has proven, without a doubt, that the people are invested in him.
First and foremost, for the Inter-Party Advisory Council, there's a new chairman. I'm former chairman. But for the coalition, I actually attended several meetings of the current coalition and was part of several deliberations. For the opportunities that lies for the coalition and their plan to remove the current administration that is not underperforming seriously, I think there are a lot of chances. But those chances should be predicated on certain factors and drawn within certain parameters, because you cannot, in this day and time when election and political dynamics have changed from where people need to stuff ballot box, run away with it and grab it, you need candidates that have momentum, that have public appeal, that have that have organic depth of support, that to be able to go into the ballot so that you have go onto the ballot so that you have the opportunity to remove the current government. And you know that if you the kind of information that was put here to say that it must be not what defeated Jonathan in 2015 wasn't just about the fact that the North felt that it was their turn from 2011-12 to build up to 2015, and they felt that it was their turn and that they must try to be part of it, and that would not even see happen without the implosion in the PDP, where you have people from River State, you have people from Imo, people from Kwara like Saraki and Co, who now eventually left the PDP. So the only way to defeat this current government is to have a candidate that will have the capacity to do so, and you can't come and put innuendos and rhetoric and so it must be the North, pursuing generalization statement on general terms without specifically stating what candidate you think should be that. For me, I think that candidate should be Peter Obi. Candidate that have moved that goes around from state to state, that move from Jigawa to from Abuja to Kafasha to Kaduna, even to Olamaboro in Kogi State, and I've been to several technical institution, nursing school. We can't have people who are not showing compassion, who are not showing that they have the capacity to be able to know the terrain of this country. Because the problem we have put people in government who have not been able to even know what is the route that link between Ogugu to Enugu. What is that road? People don't travel, they travel on shop. But I have seen a candidate. I will not come to do a statement on that I will not mention name of those I think that can win this thing. And if you look at the last election, there was no political entrenchment. There was no political structure. People say, oh, there are 3 people tweeting in one room. There are no governors, there are no senators. But that election, Obi has proven beyond reasonable doubt that he has the public, the people have interest in him, because it's about the messaging, it's about the acceptance, because you can be popular and then you go to the ballot and there's no result, but people accept you. That's where your popularity translates into vote. So you look at the southern election that was conducted, despite the fact that APC was in control of the structure in the entire south of our country. If PDP was in control of within the south, PDP was in control of Delta. In that Delta, they had a vice presidential candidate for the PDP, and Atiku won the vote. Peter Obi won the vote there over 80%. You have the southern election statistics where Peter Obi had 44.5%, Atiku had 19.4%, Tinubu had 35.5%, and Kwakwaso had 0.48%. Where he defeated every candidate that participated in the south. And when you come to the north, he had a substantial share. You have to take away the rigging, because the people say, oh, he didn't win the election. People are claiming he won the election. We need to go to the IRF and see that there are a lot of irregularities, a lot of forged results that were posted there. And if you look at the BBC report, expose done on River State, including Premium Times, you will find out that Peter Obi defeated every other candidate in River State. These are data that are verifiable, that you can reach out to. We can't just sit down and then come to a station and then try to put up candidates that are not going out there to sell themselves, to go around to connect with Nigerians, to show compassion to people who are going through crisis, like what happened in Makwa, and then we go and elect candidate again that will now start.
In another video, Peter Obi also said he revealed that in 2019 we did a coalition of 30 political parties and we still lost. So to win as a coalition is not necessarily just about how many political parties you can put together, but far more importantly is about the type of candidate you present to the people. As a coalition, we must present to the people a candidate that has mass appeal and serious organic following, such that electorates will be enthusiastic to participate in the electoral process and also be willing to risk their lives, like the lady who was stabbed in Lagos and she still went back to vote. You must present a candidate that motivates the electorates to participate, otherwise there will be serious voter apathy which normally favors the ruling party. High Chief Peter Obi is his name. He is the former chairman of the Inter-Party Advisory Council, and I believe he's also endorsing Peter Obi.
We've done a coalition where we put 30 political parties before together in 2019 and we lost. It's not about how many parties you put together, but it's about the kind of candidate you present to the people. It must be appealing enough to them to be willing to go to the ballot box and vote. It must be attractive enough to them to be willing to sustain injury like the lady in Lagos and still go back to polling unit. That is the kind of things that the opposition need, because the opposition does not have any other power. They don't control the state apparatus of authority. They don't control INEC, they don't control police, and they don't control other things. What they need is the people. It's the people that determines what happens on election day. And if you tell me that the people are not useless and they are not useful and they are not a determining factor, you ask yourself question: why do they load money in trucks to buy vote? So these are critical things that the people, and the only thing that have made election rigging easier in my 20-something years of practicing multi-party democracy and being in the opposition is the fact that people don't participate. When there's mass participation, we have about something million register on our voters register today. Imagine if 30 million comes out to vote, or 40 million. It will overwhelm the system. The system has no capacity. Today, look at what terrorists are doing. Nigerian security architecture have no capacity to subdue the people in 179,000 polling units. So it is the people that the opposition have. But how can the people be encouraged enough to say they are willing to give their vote? It will be predicated on the kind of candidate that is put forward to the citizens, on what they will make them so encouraged that they needed to save this country from a sliding, from the downward spiral that is going. So it is about the people and the opposition. And you must have in that process a proper, well-defined strategy to be able to also deploy your resources on election day, since you are not going to be stealing for public offers. And I tell you that this government, nothing fears them more. What is happening in all the opposition party, you think it's just happening for nothing? I am telling you, this is the first time I've seen that the Supreme Court judgment can be overturned by a state high court. INEC come into existence under section 133 of the Constitution. That means INEC is a federal executive body. No state court can issue an order against INEC and it will stand. No. The current INEC chairman appointment comes in line with section 155 of section 1C. So everything is a federal body. But today you have state courts issuing orders to stop the function, to overrule the federal high court, to overrule the Supreme Court. So, and you have a commission that is so deep now in their politics that also will not make you breathe well. But if the people wake up, I am telling you that day and night, these people are not sleeping.